Hey there. I put a flower, which became my daughter's, and now I am going to take it to her. Let's go. I am basically turning my habitats, or the places where I usually am, into recording studios. Just like now in my car, I purchased a separate thing which attaches to the windscreen and makes it positions the camera in a comfortable angle so that um, I can be seen in the center. I will probably be switching it up so that the rear side of the camera is facing me, but the rear side of the phone, I mean. But for now, I think it's easiest if I keep it like this. I don't have a way of knowing whether it is being recorded or not if I turn it over. So what I wanted to talk about, actually I want to talk about a number of things, but one of the things that I wanted to talk about is this idea that as reality is unfolding, as it's making itself known more and more, and as it's knowing itself more and more, it has preferences. The reality has preferences, and those preferences can be observed by just basic observation. Like, one of the preferences of reality is that it likes to perpetuate life. Because, how do we know this? Because life, whether it's a native property of existence or whether it's an emergent property of existence, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that life is a part of existence and part of reality, and it perpetuates itself by various means. And honestly, some of the means of how life chooses to continue is quite strange. Well, at least it's strange to me. And also the fact that life consumes other life, that's also kind of strange. When we eat meat, or when animals eat each other, you know. And my point here is that reality has preferences. Those preferences, when they are known, when they are clear, when they are apparent or obvious. Those preferences give rise to I want to say types of energies or types of forces which bring into motion some inertia which accelerates or decelerates if it should not find resonance or find harmony with what reality prefers. So this is a very strange conversation I'm having right now because I don't usually talk about, I don't think I've ever said these words or expressed these ideas with myself or anybody else. So I find it strange that I'm saying these things, especially on camera. But I do find them correct. They ring true, so to speak. So one of the preferences of reality is, let's talk about something more specific now, something more tangible, something more juicy. One of the preferences of reality is that it likes technology over the non-existence of it, or the time when it didn't exist. It likes the openness of information and availability and accessibility, and that information, lack of information is not the source of suffering anymore, because everyone, regardless of their nationality, or as long as they're a human, that is, because non-human entities like dogs and other animals, they don't compete with one another based on information. That's why they are equal in their search for happiness, because their happiness and our happiness is not the same, right? So, but in case of humans, we have strange phenomena like money and work and specialization and knowledge and studying. And those who have studied and those who have tried, or those who have strived for it, wanted it, it's much easier to attain the fruits of their labor, so to speak. So like if they have labored, then it's much easier to attain the fruits, because the fruits of labor come as a result of laboring. And if you have put in the time to learn a new language which can make it possible for you to express your ideas to the world, as I am now, then you are much more desirable on the marketplace than someone who has not put in the effort. So one of the preferences is that universe likes to find that which is balanced not equal, but balanced. So one of the attributes or the preferences of the universe or the reality is that it likes to restore balance, find balance and restore balance. So if you want to know what balance is, try to see what the reality is trying to restore. That's it. Okay, and so free availability of information, free availability of, let's say, studying materials or teachers, which is basically free. Right now, everything is free on YouTube. If you want to learn any skill, you can just, find the best course or the best teacher or the best everything, basically for free. Which is a good thing. And reality does like that. Because everyone cumulatively and collectively will say that it's a better thing. Even if those who have had the advantage in the past of having the knowledge and they could use that knowledge against those who had no access to that knowledge because of their place of birth or the conditions where they were born. Even those who were in the position of privilege, don't quote me on this one, but I think even they are for free information because they have benefited from it more, I think. Maybe not more, but maybe as much as the rest of the people who have had the opportunity to rise from the lower levels of the society up into the higher ones. So, what's my point? I'm trying to make a very specific point with this conversation, and I haven't even mentioned what it is that I want to say. Maybe I'm now thinking, is that really something I wanted to say, or maybe what I just said, or what I am saying, was what I wanted to say, really, and what I thought I wanted to say was just a cause or the reason for why I am saying this. But in reality, or rather the reality, wanted me to say this, which is to say that I wanted to say this. Okay, so the technology which is available to everyone freely, like this phone, which I am recording myself on right now, and it's free to share your thoughts and your perspective with everyone for free at a very high speed. I think reality really does like that, It's an opportunity which makes it possible for instant communication, instant exchange of information, and yeah, there's nothing not to like about it. So, but the nuances do matter though. So like, what are the nuances? Instant communication, instant information gives rise to unlimited streams of thoughts, unlimited number of people speaking about the same or different topics, which can be and is actually very overwhelming, because now you have too many voices. At some point you had very few voices. You had the state wanting you to hear some crazy message, like the propaganda or something. But now you have millions of people sharing their ideas, like myself, who really have no credibility to them, no way to just know what it is that they're saying. Like, what am I saying? How do I know? There's no fact checking. There's no nothing. All that matters is how good a video looks. If it looks good, then it must be good. Then it must be accurate information. But it's not. Videos are optimized for being watched, not for being accurate. And if someone can make you watch their video and it contains a lot of false information, you're more likely to believe that it's true than if somebody gives you a crappy video with tons of accurate information. But that's a different point. Like, what is information? How do we, or why do we believe that it's true or not, and all that. So, like, we're not going to go that way. What I'm saying now, and what the specific point I wanted to make, I still want to make that point, is that the reality has given us the opportunity to consume unlimited amounts of information for free from various sources. We don't have to look at the same face every day. We don't have to hear the same voice every day, or like every day, all day, every day. But rather, we can listen to a diversity of voices. We can choose who is that person who we like to listen to. What kind of voice is it that we like to listen to? What kind of structure do the messages have which we like to consume? And we are basically absolutely blessed with the plethora of every type of combination. And the mind, which really is a attention focused at something, which has not learned to or I don't know, which has not been subjected to which has not been made a non-master, I want to say, yeah. So if the mind is in the master seat, as it usually is, then the mind will take the route which is the most pleasing to it, which is consuming all the content all the time until it is just physically impossible to do so. Like, you have to do something, otherwise you will die or something like that, You have to eat or you will starve to death. And that's when it gives up. But when the mind is not in the driver's seat, then such behavior is obviously worse for the entity which is engaging in such behavior. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's bad when it's consumed without moderation. It's not bad, it's very good. It's very, very good, It's the collective achievement of humanity, which we should be very proud of. So what is not a collective achievement of humanity is not having the mind be in the driver's seat. That is a very, I'm sure many of maybe all of my friends, not all of them, but some, almost all of them, will disagree with me here. They don't agree with me on anything, almost, but That's not the point. And so overconsumption is just a way of consuming which prevents you from doing anything other than the critical tasks. Like, for example, social media is one such example where we are being bombarded by the messages or the notifications by our phones and our devices, gadgets, phones, computers. My message is the reality which does like and prefer abundance of information. It also does prefer that the possibility of sharing information becomes more widespread. So like it will continue to evolve into the future reality where storing information like this, like maybe with people talking to their cameras maybe, is the way to go. The reality does like that. And the reality does make a preference for that kind of arrangement. And how do I know this? Well, I don't. I'm just making a claim out of my own understanding of what's happening. And so, the smart thing to do, and maybe this is a smart thing to do not only in this area but in all other areas, is to try to look at what trend the reality is taking. What's the future, immediate future, long distant future, whatever. What's the future going to hold? And then invest into it. If you know that the future will belong to those who have the skills and the knowledge, I don't know, and comfort to be recording themselves and be talking to cameras and have the gear and know how to operate that gear and just have the wherewithal to do whatever it takes to get to the point, bring themselves to the point where they are recording videos and sharing those videos with others and themselves, their future selves. That's probably the most important thing to be sharing with. The most important person to be sharing thoughts and ideas with is your future self. So that's why diaries exist and existed for a long time. But why do diaries have to be just writings on a piece of paper? Why can't it be a video diary? Why can't it be a hello, my future self, greetings from your past self. These are the thoughts that I am having right now. And so if you're watching this in the future, yeah, this is you from the past. This is how you looked, this is how you sounded, this is what kind of hat you had on your stupid head. And this was the quality of your phone's camera when you were recording it in your car, which you enjoyed at the time quite a bit. So it's free. But another reason for why this is the preferred way of what reality prefers. First of all, another way of knowing that this is the preference of reality is that it is rewarding to be doing that. It's rewarding in a number of ways. First of all, it's rewarding to be talking not with someone, but to no one in particular, while making it possible to talk to everyone who wants to listen, which is not something you can do within the physical confines of reality. So reality made it possible to share yourself with others and with yourself in the future, in time, for free. And we have this crazy opportunity to be recording ourselves for free for as long as we want. I've been talking to the camera for like 26 minutes now. And we are consumed by other fleshy things, which is just a bit easier to do than to record yourself on camera because of this, that, and the other. But the preference of reality is to engage in the activity of making yourself available, shareable, learn to express yourself, learn to structure your ideas, learn to record yourself, learn to be brave enough to show yourself to the world. Because all these things are not needed if you are not going to be recording yourself. You can remain a bitch if you have no way of... And yeah, this is also one of the easier ways of self-reflection, because unless you interact with the external world, it will not give you feedback in terms of what it thinks you are or you're not, and whether it is in harmony with what you think you are or want to be. So this brings me to the end of it, because I have almost arrived to being driving for half an hour, a little bit more. And so the message is just start recording yourself. It's free. It's very easy. You just need a $5 console to attach your phone to the windscreen. You just need a regular phone, which you already have, I'm sure. And you're watching me on that phone right now, if anybody's watching. So, yeah. I don't know, people call it blogging, documenting their lives, but just make it a public journal for yourself to see and for others to see. If you don't want to see if you don't want to have others see you, I think you are it may be wise to want to remain anonymous and private. I am one of those people. I don't like external attention, too much of it at least. but the reasons for not rem- the reasons for remaining private may be overrated, and their importance may be blown up, blown out of proportion. So that's it for now. See you later. Peace.